Hi. Probably this is going to be my very first video on this channel, and I thought of doing inside out kind of perspective on everything that is happening around us and what's going on in our head and why these things are happening. We'll discuss a lot of these things. Uh, Probably less shit as much as possible from my side. But if you're talking about shitty things, it gets shitty at times. Just like what we are going to talk right now. So let's consider there are like two things that happened very recently that is that is in a way contradicting and in a way confusing to what's really happening in our society at the moment. The first thing is the rape that happened in Telengana, and four people accused, and they got, let's say, encountered. In other terms, it's murder, and like even that girl got murdered, and the people who murdered the girl got murdered again by the policeman. It's in a sense that's a way to tell it, but we are living in a democracy, and this democracy has certain rules, and that rules say that it's not a murder, it's an encounter. So it becomes something else. Just the terms are different, but the happening of the event is just the same. It's the girl got killed by four people, and the four people got killed by some other men. So it's again killing that and killing these four. It's killing again. I'm just summarizing to that, then distinguishing in encounter and murder. But the thing is, we are celebrating one life that was taken, and four life that was taken for the revenge of that one life, and a lot of people are celebrating that. I'm not saying that we shouldn't celebrate or we shouldn't rejoice from the sadness that happened before, but it's just a confusing situation for me. I really don't know how to scale these things, because are we sure that this is being done by these four people? Let's consider we are sure, we are 100% sure that these four people are the people who did it. Okay, so what's next? So we are having a system of judiciary where we give the criminals to the justice, and the justice being provided by the judicial system, and it goes on from that point. But here what happened, because people's anger were fueled by the media, and as well it should be, because rape rape for sure is an inhuman thing, and killing the person is next level to it. It shouldn't have been done. It Why it happened is a different story. We cannot go and comprehend that at the moment, because we are far from repairing the system. Because why repairing is needed? Because rape happened because of the system itself is not that efficient one. So what we should be doing, we can discuss in the further videos, but let's focus on the topic now. So this almost like 5 people lost their lives in last 10 days in a single event. That's what happened, right? My confusing thing is that, so we have killed the 4 people who killed that one person, and I really don't know how to scale this, because one life is never better than the other one. Everyone has its own scale, everyone has its own thing. But my question is, are these 4 people going to remain a bad people throughout their life? Are these 4 people who were accused and got encountered going to remain the same for rest of their lives? Are we the same people who were shitty ones? We were shitty ones. I was shitty ones. We used to do a lot of things that is a little inhuman. We don't hurt others, but we hurt others in a way that we don't feel it's a hurt, right? So it's a different scenario. Killing is a different scenario, that's fine, but uh, are we failing to give chance another, are we failing to give people another chance to recover themselves from the sick mindset they were trained inside? So why this mindset got trained, how these people got evolved, how these 4 people got into the situation of raping someone and murdering them without thinking about the consequences? Maybe it's because of the urge or because of something that we don't know. But what I feel is that if you are blaming the four people, I definitely can say there is a major part that is in the society too, because the government itself is, you know, giving a chance for these things to happen. Why these things happen in the first place? Why the minds that raped this girl had this thinking? Why did they have that? Why I'm talking like this, and you, someone, someone who's really concerned about that girl, is very much worried about that girl, rather than going in hand with those four person who raped the girl and murdered the girl. The question is fundamentally how these people are raised, how I am raised, and how you are raised, and how those four people are raised. So when we consider that, it becomes a different situation. We shouldn't, you know, kill people that just because he did something bad in the society. That is confusing for me. That is the point. That is totally confusing for me. Shouldn't we give them another chance? Let's consider that is a rehab center, and we give them 10 years to become something they did unconsciously. What I'm saying unconsciously, because these people did something unconsciously without thinking about the consequences, thinking about what's going to happen beyond that point. They did it in certain urge or certain will, or say they planned it out for 10 days for some xyz reasons. But still, are humans allowed to kill another human in the first place? At least, I mean, those people, four people, did kill a girl for sure. That is bad. So that makes them bad people from our perspective. But killing them again by our mind's will, it's just the policeman who did it. But still, there are a lot of hearts that is supporting the cause, that is supporting the murder that happened for those four. Let's call it as encounter now. So for the four young men who got killed in the encounter, shouldn't we be giving them chances to live and make them prove? Isn't that a better way than just killing those four people? Is my confusion and question I'm just asking you to you guys, and I'm waiting for some answers. And that is the second thing. That is, we have created a system, and the system has certain rules and stuff. But this system can be tampered and bent and being used in any way anyone want to use it, just like Nityananda did it. Consider the fact, the same situation, a person who is in a different level of the society. This Nityananda is not like the four people who got encountered, but Nityananda has a lot of power. He can do almost anything with his money. But he fled from the country from a similar case. He didn't kill anybody directly, in my knowledge, but he got accused of certain things. He got accused of a rape or something, or anything that is related with the girl that we still don't know if it happened, or if maybe if, it didn't happen at all. But that person can escape from the country and live somewhere. The very moment I'm doing this video, he's living happily somewhere, not in this country, but very happily somewhere else in the earth. It's happening. So these are like two scenarios that happened in the last 10 days, and still there are contradicting opinions, contradicting situations in the same line. I really don't understand how people are responding to the same thing in different ways. Let's consider there are some followers of Nityananda, and these people are completely following it. And I'm very sure some of you could cross this channel too. Please drop it in the comments, because I encourage everyone to talk about their point, because talking about myself, my perspective is bullshit. It's not going to be a resolving one. we need to resolve a lot of issues in the society, and that needs to be talked out than just giving out a perspective. So please, if you're showing up, the Nityananda followers, please proceed your things in the comment section. I would really like to listen from you guys. I'm definitely not, comparing the rape that happened in the Telengana and Nityananda. I'm just contradicting the rule system that we have created for uh, humans in the country, at least in the country, because I cannot speak for the world because we don't have a common system that rules the world at this moment, except that there are a lot of businesses that is holding a group of the world, but government and rules are just very uh, differentiated, differed from country to country, borders to borders, even the state, the local borders, and it varies in every level. So there is a very basic law. It's not a law that is created by humans, but by the nature itself. We can feel it. It's just a feeling. It cannot be converted into a paper. If you're asking for a proof from your perspective, I cannot do that because it's very basic, right? We shouldn't be hurting any other being. It's not just a human being, any other being. You can do anything for yourself, for an experience, but just because you are having an experience, you cannot hurt or do something against the will of another being in this universe. I feel that is the universal law. That's what we should be teaching in the schools. That's what we should be learning in every point of our life. Instead, we are learning about XYZ's theorems, extra, extra, extra. But I don't know if these things are why these things are not taught. These are the basics, right? These are the very, very, very basics, and it took me like 24 years to figure it out. And why the fuck I was not thought about these things in my primary school, secondary schools, or whatever the shit I went through the schooling. No one ever told me about these things, how the law of the universe works. What is the law of the universe? Maybe they never know themselves. At least this, from this point, we have to start educating people that this law exists. This is what is happening for real, because the country India happened like 60, 70 years back, and what happened before that happened something like 200 years back. It's very recent when you compare the lifetime of humans in this planet. We are here for like million years. Something miraculous happened in the very uh, last 10,000 years. So these things should be taught in the primary thing, as the primary thing in our schools, but we are teaching kids something else. So I think the fundamental of these two cases is originating from that point only. If you are considering the Indian law, if you are telling me that this law does that, this law doesn't do that, I'm not concerning to listen to such laws, because these laws can be tampered, bent, and changed at any point in time. But I'm talking about a law that cannot be changed forever. This is the way the universe got formed. This is the way the universe exists for itself. We're all here to experience without hating or hurting or disturbing other being without its will. Yep, that's it. See you then.